Well, the California prison system is dealing with yet another setback and attempting to calm tensions with inmates. Prison officials announced on Saturday that an inmate being held in solitary confinement died at the California State Prison, Corcoran, on Monday. That's one of the prisons participating in the mass hunger strike in the state. Inmate supporters say that the inmate, 32-year-old Bill Guero, cell was taking part in this protest. Prison officials, on the other hand, say that he wasn't and that his death is being treated as a suicide. RT calls to the prison have not yet been answered. Now, Cell was serving a life sentence for attempted murder. He was also awaiting trial for the murder of a cellmate. Now, the hunger strike is 22 days old now, with about 1,000 inmates in 11 prisons actually still refusing to eat. That's down from 30,000 inmates that initially refused meals in the first days. For more on the hunger strike, I'm joined now by Ronald Ahnen. He's a professor of politics at St. Mary's College and the mediator in this hunger strike. Hi there, Ron. Thank you so much for joining me. So tell me, what is the latest regarding this hunger strike?
Well, the fact is it's still going on. We're in day 22. We're starting the fourth week, and it's really serious. We have a lot of concerns about the hunger strikers in terms of getting the medical attention that they need. We had reports that the individual who died was actually seeking medical help at the time when he died. And so we're trying to follow up as much as possible to make sure that they get the care that they need.
Now, we've heard different accounts about Bill Cell, the prisoner in solitary confinement who died, about whether or not he was actually participating in this hunger strike, as you say. Now, what can you tell us about him in particular and about the varying information that we've heard about his involvement?
Well, we get reports back from prisoners, and we had reports from prisoners who were in his block, on his tier, who knew him, and they're telling us that he was on hunger strike. Now, if a prisoner drinks a glass of Kool-Aid or Gatorade or something and still refuses solid food, the prison system doesn't consider them on hunger strike anymore. Now they're fasting. So it also could be that the prison officials are just sort of playing loose with the words, which I think would be really grotesque in this situation.
And that is obviously very different from what, say, a person that is participating in a hunger strike at Guantanamo Bay would be, because if they have to eat 1,800 calories for, I think, a week before they're considered to be off of that prison strike. So if you're saying just Kool-Aid would consider them off of that prison strike, that's a very vast difference.
Yeah, we were told that if you drink coffee, tea, Kool-Aid, or anything like that, you're no longer on a hunger strike. You're on a fast. The prison officials have a definition of hunger strike of missing 9 meals in a row. And if you take one meal, then you have to start over again and start missing those 9 meals before you're considered back on hunger strike.
So now let's talk about your role in this. Tell us about the process of mediation and what some of the major sticking points have been in the negotiation process.
Well, basically, I'm part of a mediation team that is trying to give voice to the prisoners' concerns. Their main concern is an end to long-term solitary confinement. They started this process in 2011, in which they went on a hunger strike, and the prison officials did agree to change their policy, and they did. But the policy still makes it possible to keep somebody in solitary confinement just about indefinitely. And that's the main sticking point. And even though we're a mediation team, we have not been negotiating because prison officials have refused to negotiate with us. When we meet, we do talk, we clarify issues, but so far we haven't had negotiations. And we think it's time for the governor now, Governor Brown, to step in and order negotiations, good faith negotiations, and put an end to long-term solitary confinement in California.
Now, a lot of people that are critics of, obviously, the people that are in prison say that the people who are in prison have committed crimes and they're now being punished for them. So why is it important that these people are treated with dignity?
Because punishment this is beyond punishment. Putting somebody in a solitary confinement, okay, I ask your viewers to think of a cell, 8 by 10 foot, concrete walls all the way around with no windows. No phone calls are allowed, no contact visits with family or friends, and you're being held there not for months, not for years, but for decades. Over 500 of these people have been treated like this. Held in solitary confinement for over a decade, 78 over 2 decades. There's one individual who has spent 42 years. Many of these people quickly develop mental illness due to this. They start hearing voices, they start getting suicidal. That kind of stuff cannot just be chalked up to punishment.
And finally, there's expected to be a day of action on Wednesday where these people with Cornell West and Michael Moore, among others, will stand in solidarity. Just very quickly, do you think that this will gain the attention that you'd like to see?
I really hope that it does, and especially the fact that we're into the 4th week. We really need something to happen here, because pretty soon we're going to end up with prisoners collapsing, and I am afraid, very frankly, that there's going to be more deaths. It doesn't have to be. The governor could have ordered negotiations from the get-go before the hunger strike even started, but if that didn't happen, it's time to do it is now.
Ronald Ahnen is the professor of politics at St. Mary's College. Thank you so much.
Thank you.